Okay, so for my final paper, I decided to look at two articles written by Dr. Gottman. They were both looking at married couples and the way that they interact with each other, especially in conflict. The first article was titled The Roles of Conflict Engagement, Escalation, and Avoidance in Marital Interaction. And it looked at 5 different types of couples. That one basically looks at the different styles of conflict that married couples have. And the second article was titled The Effects of Briefly Interrupting Marital Conflict. And that one just looked at, they asked the couples to think about positive words, or they, in a different study or group, they asked them to look at their partner while asking them to think about negative words about them. So, yeah. In the different type of couple article, Gottman did label the styles of conflict as either stable or unstable. There were 5 different types of couples. They were validators, volatiles, avoiders, hostile, and hostile detached. And that study aimed to predict marriage longevity in these couples. The study showed that unstable couples use a great deal of defensiveness, like being emotionally unavailable. The main finding was that a lot of their wording and listening skills, so when they were speaking to their partner, they weren't giving them verbal confirmation. They maybe were acting like they weren't listening. And when they were speaking to them, a lot of their words were a lot more negative. Versus the stable couples, they seemed to maintain some sort of balance when they were speaking and listening to their partner. So it didn't mean that the stable couples never argued. It just meant that when they did argue, they were able to not be attacking each other. They were able to appreciate their partner's point of view and understand that, yeah, my partner is different from me, and that's okay, and I still appreciate their viewpoint despite the fact that we are in an argument right now. So yeah, basically the thing that they did well or didn't do well was provide verbal and nonverbal confirmation. So yeah, the second study where they looked at the interventions, which were where they either asked them to use positive words or negative words about their couple or about their partner. This one was really, really fascinating. The findings, basically the findings showed that despite the fact that they were given negative or positive like stimulus to base their conversation off of, the couples that were more negative, even if they were given a positive word or positive words to think about, they still found a way to be negative about their partner. And the couples that were given negative words, it didn't necessarily mean that they would say negative things about their partner. Some people still found a way, even though they were given negative words, to not be very negative towards their partner. So that just really shows that it does go back to the nature of the couple's relationship. Obviously, some of them did follow along that path, but the main findings of that study showed that it actually didn't determine how the direction that their conversation went. So yeah, the nature of the couple's relationship basically was the determining factor in which way their conversation would go. One of the other main findings from this article was that once a couple, specifically the more negative ones, once I went down that negative path, it was really hard to come back out. So yeah. And that couples with positive tendencies, they will try and find a way to still be positive about their partner, even if they're given like negative words to start with. Similarities in his research studies were basically in the way that they were designed. In both studies, he categorized the couples into like categories like unstable or stable, positive or negative, based on the nature of their overall relationship. And And yeah, basically, I did read a fact that said that Gottman is pretty much able to predict marital satisfaction up to 90%. And looking at these studies really did show that. They were great examples of that because it just showed that the nature of a couple's relationship has a lot to do with their overall satisfaction and longevity. So yeah, they were very interesting studies and I really enjoyed reading them.